Good morning you guys, it's Karen and I'm here to talk about my 2021 makeup favourites. Today I'm doing eyes. I thought I'd do eyes and face separately like I did last year. It just gives me more time to talk about the products, and I've got my little notes here. And I'm going to talk about what products were favourite last year, if they're still a favourite, and if not, why not, etc, etc. So let me start with concealer that I don't have in front of me. Let me get it. Okay, concealer. Last year my favourite was the Bare Minerals Serum Concealer, and I think I used that up during the year. I don't know if that's even still available, to be honest, but the reason that that is not a favourite this year, I did still enjoy it, but it's a higher end brand, and I found two that are much more affordable and I love just as much. So the two that I found, the first one is called Eye Bright and it is by Revolution. So it's this one here. I double checked, it is still available. You can see I've only got a little bit left in that. It was down there, it's now up to there, so I need to buy some more. And I'm going to buy one colour down as well, although maybe I already did that. This one is, oh goodness, light, I think that says. Yeah, I think that says light, and actually you can see me putting it on there, you can't hardly see it, so it probably is quite a good match for me. It's got a little sponge on the end. This reminds me of the Maybelline Age Eraser that I used to love, but obviously I don't use them because they're not cruelty free. I just love this. I love how easy it is to use with that sponge on the end, and this is really brightening, as you'd expect. It's called Eye Bright. It's not super full coverage, but it seems to do what I need it to do, so I do really enjoy that. The other one that I love is this Ordinary high coverage formula. Mine is in, I think it's 1.5. Oh no, 2.0. 2.0 neutral is my colour in this. I think I got the 1.5 and it was just too light. This one is better if you're looking for full coverage, but I still find that this is good at, when I say not settling into lines, I've said over and over again, I don't think there is a concealer that won't settle into your lines a little bit. The only way to not have that happen is to not use concealer at all. And actually I saw a lot of videos over the year saying to do, you know, like the V and whatnot, but if you do the V and miss out this middle bit, I've still got lines up here, and so it was still sinking to my lines. But this one is the least of them all. It's not something I notice. I don't put it on and go, oh my goodness, it's really showing up my lines, whereas that has happened with concealers with me in the past. But this one's just a little bit more full coverage. So I kind of go between these and have done since discovering them early on in 2021, and I would say I'm so happy with those that I'm not attracted to any other concealers. You know, I've seen a few concealers come out since and I'm like, no, I'm fine with these. You know, these work really well for me, so I'm happy with those. For brows, the products are exactly the same as last year. So the first one is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Powder Duo in Caramel. The perfect colour for me. I kind of use my brush, you can probably see, I kind of use my brush right down the middle line. That's where I put my brush, so it's sort of mixing the two together. That's what I've got in my brows today, and then I topped it up with my pencils. So love that, and I have tried, you know, I'll sometimes use eyeshadow. If I'm being lazy and I've got an eyeshadow out, I'll use an eyeshadow, but I feel like this Anastasia powder lasts longer, it stays in place longer. And then the NYX Micro Brow pencils, they are still my favourite, and I have tried a lot of different micro brow pencils over the year. The XX Revolution one I did think was going to beat these because it's about £3 less expensive and I felt was really good, but the last one I got was really dry. So yeah, I've kind of stuck with the NYX brow pencils. So I would still try other kind of drugstore type pencils to see if they were as good as these, but a lesser price, but I'm happy with the NYX ones for now. So brow products, exactly the same. I'll save eyeshadow till the last because that'll be the most products, but let's talk about eyeliners because I've got quite a few here to talk about. I've got all of these. Now, my favourite eyeliner last year, I know, was the NYX. It was the NYX liquid eyeliner. That was the main one that I used for my top line. It was the NYX matte liquid eyeliner, and they no longer do it. I'm heartbroken by that because it's been around for years. I've been using it for years. It's just perfect. Everything about it was perfect. So I've been on the hunt to find something like it. I've been trying all sorts. I've been trying this Revolution one, but this one is a liquid eyeliner, but it is that kind of firm felt tip brush. It's okay, but it just kind of what's the word, it bleeds when I use it. Then this one is I think the closest I can get to the NYX one. This is the Catrice 24 Hour brush liner with coconut extract apparently. So this has got a brush and it is a liquid eyeliner. So like I said, I think this is the closest, but even using this, I'm like, no, it's not the same. I can't tell you why. I just feel like it's not the same, but I need to use this a little bit more. And I think this is probably the one I'm going to repurchase, but I wouldn't say it's a favourite. I have yet to find another liquid eyeliner that is a favourite. I have, however, got a felt tip pen that's a favourite, and it's again Catrice. It's the Calligraphy Pro. And so for those of you that don't know what I do, probably a long way around it, but I use a liquid eyeliner for the line on the top. And I do that because I think that it's the most precise, and it's the most, not the most precise, it's the most intense. If I use like a felt tip liner, it tends to kind of mix in with my eyeshadow, I find, and not look as black. I like it to really look black. But what I use this for is doing the outer corner flick. If I tried to do the outer corner flick with my liquid eyeliner, I think it would end up a mess. It's just with this, it's almost dry as soon as you use it. It's very, very thin tipped, and that's what I like to use. So I like this Catrice Calligraphy Pro, so I'll probably order that one again. I don't think I gave a favourite last year for this. For a pencil to go in my waterline, so I always use a black in my upper waterline. Last year I will have talked about the Milk Makeup eyeliner, and I still have one in my stock, if you like, and that is still the #1 that stays really, really well in my waterline. I did have a look, and it does seem to still be available, but it's out of stock everywhere. It seems to be really difficult to find. And so the one that I have been using for quite some time now is the Too Faced Killer Liner. Do you remember I bought 2 of these in a haul, and this one is, I think, the 36-hour wear. Yeah, Total Control 36-hour waterproof eyeliner. It's one of those that gets a complete mess, you know, when you're using it, and I have to sharpen it quite a lot, but it does seem to stay really well. This would be a really good substitute if you can't find the Milk Makeup Liner, but the Milk Makeup Liner is still my favourite, but this Too Faced one is really good also. Finally, on the Kohl pencil, I wanted to mention this Morphe one in Bamboo. That's what I have got in my lower waterline today. Let me just top it up to see if you can actually notice. I think this is just, let me draw it on my hand. You can see it's just a kind of flesh colour. And I had actually bought it thinking it might be a good lip liner, because you can't really ever tell the colours online, you know, and these are those pencils. I think they're just called colour pencil. Yeah, colour pencil, so you can use them for lips or eyes. But this works really well in the lower waterline if you like putting that kind of flesh colour in there. I'll have to see if they've got a black and try that one. I think that's maybe what I went to try actually as well. And it's maybe been out of stock as well. It would be great if that was the case. If the Morphe one of these in black was as good as the Milk Liner, that would be fantastic. I will try that out and let you know. I didn't have a favourite flesh coloured one last year. Onto mascara. You guys know I am ultra fussy. I mean, fussier than anybody I have ever met with mascaras. And I did at one point say to you guys, I wondered if it was just because I've got non-existent eyelashes. I mean, they're really, really small. And when I use what do you call it, a lash growth serum that works, I find that, oh, okay, I like this mascara, I like this mascara, and I think I've been making the mistake of thinking it's the mascara, whereas actually it's just that my lashes are a little bit longer. But I haven't found a great lash serum this year. That's something that I'm looking for. I tried one that was really good from Amazon, but then they stopped selling it and I can't find it anywhere. Again, typical. I tried my Revitalash, but it didn't work as well this year, and so I'm unsure. I'm trying another one that I think you guys recommended. Feel free to keep on recommending, and I will keep on trying. And some of them help a little bit. Some of them help kind of curl my lashes a little bit, but like I said, I've got such tiny lashes, I don't necessarily want them to curl back, and you just can't see them. So anyway, I'm super fussy with mascaras, and what I tend to like is a non-plastic brush. And I like a really thin, small brush. So before I went cruelty-free, I liked the MAC, it was called Giga Black, I think. It was a really skinny brush, but quite long. And I liked the mascara, Maybelline. I don't think they even do it now, but it's one that was kind of like a comb. And so last year I talked about my favourite being the Gosh Skinny one. I think it was just called Gosh Skinny Bee or something like that. I don't think they do that anymore, or certainly I haven't seen it. But I do still like that. I did buy that a couple of times during the year. But I found this one that I really like. I talked to you about it. It's the Belle Hypoallergenic Upper and Lower Lash Precise Mascara. So that's why I like it, because it is a precise mascara brush. Look at that. That to me is the perfect brush. It is thin, it's not plastic, it's the kind of natural type bristles. You know, it doesn't poke me in the eye, it really separates, it really gives definition, it doesn't clump, it stays on, it doesn't flake, it doesn't smudge, and it is a £5. I mean, this is like a really good find. And actually I've just opened the one that was my spare. I need to go on and order another one, because I keep on thinking they'll put the price up. Amazon, you know, once something becomes popular, the price goes up, and I've talked about this a couple of times, but for a £5 it's really, really good. So that is my favourite this year. Whether or not it'll be my favourite next year, I don't know. I will still try other mascaras. I've been trying a little Smashbox one. That's what I've got on today. I have got lashes on today though. It's quite nice, but it's a plastic brush, which, you know, I have to be really careful when I'm using it. But yes, that's my number one. My number two, if you can't get this on Amazon, is by Kiko, and it is their Mod, I think it's called Ultra Mod Mascara. So rather than a long skinny brush like that, it is a smaller, fatter brush, but it's still small. It's still a tiny little brush, and I really do like that one, and that's the one I would get if I couldn't get this one. Okay, on to eye primers, and I've got a few here. I just thought, let me dig out the eye primers that I've got, because when I sat and thought what's my favourite eye primer, I couldn't really pinpoint one. I thought, well, I quite like my Smashbox one. In fact, I really like it. I also really like the Hourglass one I'm using, and I've used the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion. I like that one. The number 7 one is not too bad. I didn't so much love this one that everybody raved about, the P. Louise base. This is a one that has a colour in it, which is fine, but I think I just found this too much like a concealer and too kind of dry. I like ones where the eyeshadow sticks to it or not, but honestly I haven't used this enough. You can see it's a completely full tube, so I need to use this one a bit more. But what I have found is that I haven't found a great drugstore or affordable, if you like, eye base. This number 7 one is okay, but it's not as good as the rest, in that it can be a bit watery when it comes out. Yeah, like I haven't used it for a while, and you can see that's running down my finger. It's just almost like oil is coming out. So actually I'm going to chuck that one. I don't like that one, because you don't want to just put oil on your lids, you know, you need to sort of squish it about in the tube, and it sometimes feels a little bit watery. So I would say my two favourites are the Hourglass, what is this called? Veil Eye Primer, and the Smashbox 24-hour photo finish. What was last year? Smashbox, yeah. This has been a favourite for years. This is not a new product to me at all, this Smashbox 24-hour photo finish eye primer. I just love it. It feels a bit silicone-y. It doesn't have a colour, so it's not going to cover anything, you know, but it feels lovely. The eyeshadow attaches beautifully to it and stays on, and it kind of makes the eyeshadow pop a bit. And the Hourglass one, how is this different? This one looks like it's got a bit more colour to it, but it's still a translucent colour when you put it on, as you can see. This one isn't as silicone-y feeling, the Hourglass one. They both last so long as well, because I got this one to try thinking this was going to run out, as you can see, but you just use the tiniest amount, and so they barely ever run out. And I've just had this in my makeup bag since I bought it, and just continued using it. And occasionally I've bought other ones and tried them, but thought, oh no, that wasn't so good. What was the one I bought recently? I did show it to you in an empties. I put it on, it was a drugstore one. I think it might have been a NYX one. It was a NYX one with a wand, and I put it on, and then later in the day I could see my eyeshadow had all creased. So like I said, I've never found a drugstore one that is very good. Let me know if you know one. I'm going to try this P. Louise base a bit more to see what I think of that. Actually, I'll put that one back in my makeup bag instead of this. And then this Urban Decay primer potion in Eden. This one has got a bit of colour. I think that's what drew me to it, because I've been doing the eye look that you see today. I've been doing a lot, and I need to colour in my eyelids. I've got some sort of red veins on my eyelids, and so I like to either put foundation on them or use something like this. So this is the one in Eden. I'm going to try this out as well and see what I think. Because I don't put any colour on the middle bit, I just sort of do some in the outer corner and then a little bit in the corner of my eye, and then the middle bit is just kind of blank, if you like. So I want that to be covered up. So I will try this a bit more. I always did think this worked really well, but this used to irritate my eyes. I don't think it did this time. I don't know why I bought it again. let me get back to you on this one because I'm sounding wishy-washy, and I'll get back to you on the P. Louise as well. We'll try those both, but my favourites are these two, the Hourglass and the Smashbox. Okay, eyeshadows, where to begin? I've tried a lot of eyeshadows. In the last little while, I've bought a few palettes. I think for the first half of the year, I was doing really well. I really don't think I'll need to buy any palettes this year. They'd have to be something pretty special. With my Christmas money, I get money from my mother-in-law for Christmas. I bought a Pat McGrath palette, and honestly, I'm already kind of regretting it because I've got two beautiful palettes from Huda that I'm going to talk about here, and I'll never get bored of trying them. You know, like I definitely don't need anything more. It is just, I guess you'd say, greed. My earrings turned around, sorry. So favourites is really hard. I've got a whole pile here. I'm not talking about just one, but I was trying to think about what are the brands that I love and what are the products that I feel like don't age my eyes, but I can still use, you know, sort of shimmery, sparkly shadows. So last year, where's my eyeshadow? There, last year I talked about Huda Beauty, but I talked about the little square Nude Obsession palettes, and I still have those and I still love those, and I have used those over the years, sorry, not years, I have used those, so I'm still loving those, which is why I bought the other two palettes. So the two I bought were the Rose Gold palette. So I'd only ever bought the little square palettes, the little mini ones. Well, not mini ones, the little square ones, but then I saw this in Boots and was like, that looks beautiful. And I just love this. Oh, I love all of those colours on the top except for that gold one there. And I just feel like they look different, which is really difficult when you've got a lot of eyeshadow. You know, it's difficult to find something that looks different. But they're also, I find, they don't make my eyes look too old. I feel like I can get away with wearing these. You know, I should have really worn this today instead of this matte look. But I felt so tired this morning. I haven't been sleeping very well. I think it's just hormones, you know, menopause and all that. And I just was like, you know what, I just don't feel like putting a glittery eyeshadow or a shimmery eyeshadow on today. But I do think these ones are really nice. You guys know I don't get on with Natasha Denona eyeshadows. So Natasha Denona are not my favourites. I have got a little, they're quintets, I think you'd call it. Would you call it a quintet or a quint? The ones with 5 eyeshadows in, they're long and thin. I've got on really well with them. They're really pretty, and I have got one of those with a taupe in it that I use a lot. I should show you that, shouldn't I? This one, this is the only Natasha Denona. I love the greens in it as well. This is the only Natasha Denona that works for me. I've tried quite a few of her palettes and ended up selling them, and I've got one that I need to sell. I can't remember the name of it. Retro Glam or something like that. I know some of you love them, but this is the only one that works for me. When I put the Retro Glam on or the other ones that she had, they just didn't look good on me. So back to Huda Beauty. So this one, the Rose Gold palette, absolutely love it. Love all the mattes in it. Just really, really enjoyed it. So I couldn't resist when I saw the Rose Quartz palette, and I've done a review on this talking about is it good for mature eyes, and surprisingly I thought it looked really nice. So I did the video and I was wearing, I think, this combination of these two lovely sparkly, maybe even a little bit glittery colours. Was it those two? Yeah, I think it was. And this is just such an indulgence. You know, this is, I feel like this isn't an everyday palette. This is a special occasion palette, you know, a now and again palette, but I just love it. So Huda have been really good. I haven't found anything I haven't liked of hers, I have to say, which I'm really surprised at, because all I could remember when I bought this palette, I was really nervous because, like I said, I'd only tried the little quads and I'd gotten really well with them, but I just remember there being a lot of bad reviews about, I don't think it was this palette, I think it was a neutral palette rather than a rose palette, but I just remember hearing these bad reviews. And I've had a look at her skincare, a couple of skincare items, and they're, I'm not sure, not that great, you know. So yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised, but Huda Beauty, definitely. Last year I also talked about the Anastasia Beverly Hills Norvina palette. I still have it. I have pulled it out a couple of times. There's quite a few shadows I like in here, but not the whole thing. I like that one, that one, that one, that one. I think that's probably all I would use in there. And it's got some nice mattes to go with it. So this is one that I'm not about to give away. I do really, really like this. It does look a bit grubby, but you know. So I do still like that. That is still a favourite. Viseart, yeah, the Viseart Theory palettes. I still love these. this is still my #1 favourite. This is the Viseart Amethyst palette. If I was looking to do that kind of purpley taupey colour, this is one I would pull, you know, and use and know that I would love it. So I do still love those. I haven't bought much new from those. I know they've had a few palettes out. What I did buy was these little Petit Fours, I think they were called. And this one, I was really surprised how much I loved it, because I was using this, it's quite an orangey colour on my eyes, and I did really like it, and it's a cute little one to pull out for something different, but I haven't bought as much from Viseart. That was all I'd mentioned last year on palettes. I wanted to mention this, I can't remember if I did. It's the Morphe Artistry palette in Vintage Rose. I think it's in different packaging now, you know, but this is what it looks like, and it is just one of the most beautiful palettes I've bought. Really neutral colours, but with a sort of rose gold. Well, obviously it's rose vintage is what it's called, but really, really nice quality shadows. I think you would love this palette. I think anybody would love this palette. It's got some nice mattes in it. It's just really beautiful, this. And really workable, you know, like you've got everything in there that you need. You've got your outer corner colour, you've got a crease colour, you could use that one for a crease colour, you've got one for your brow, you've got a little highlight colour there, and then some nice sort of pop of colours on the lids. And I think they're still doing this, but like I said, I think it's in a different packaging, so I will try and remember and link that for you. That's it for palettes. I could probably pull out another 10 and say they're my favourites, but these are the ones that I've kind of used the most over the year and enjoyed the most. Finally, I want to tell you about one eyeshadow, and this is the Bare Minerals Loose Pigment in Vanilla Sugar. And I didn't think that they would do this online, but they do. And honestly, I would say to you, go and buy this. If you are, whoever you are, I think you will love this. I really think you'll love this. There's nothing like this out there that I have ever found. Look how beautiful that is. It is, I wish there was other things in this formula. If a palette comes out with this kind of formula, I would buy it immediately. It is, I suppose you would call it like a silk satin type formula, because it's not shimmery. There's no shimmer, there's no glitter in this at all. And it's such a beautiful nude colour. Whenever I put this on, you guys are all very complimentary. And I like it because it's not completely matte, but I think it really makes the eyes pop, you know. The other one I use is called Blush, and they don't have that one available. They've only got 2 loose eyeshadows by Bare Minerals at the moment. I found it on the John Lewis website. If I find it anywhere else that's easier to buy from, I'll link it for you. But they only do Vanilla Sugar and one called Soulmate. And I've got Soulmate as well, and it is just a pure, it's almost yellow. It's a cream, a real light cream colour. And that's great for like the inner corner and whatnot. I don't use that very much, but this Vanilla Sugar one, like I said, whenever I use this, you guys love the look. This is the sort of peachy version, and then the one that's called Blush, if you can find it anywhere like eBay or whatever, is the pinky version, and they're both absolutely stunning. And you know, if you're worried about using shimmers, or you don't like shimmers, you don't like glittery shadows, but you want something a bit more than a matte, this is just brilliant. And this is, I've had this for years, and it's practically a full pot left, so you know, it's £15. It's going to be a really good purchase. Okay, that is everything for eyes. My desk here is a mess. It's just got eye makeup and skincare everywhere, because those are the 2 videos I was doing today. But I hope that you enjoyed that. I know that I talked about a lot of products, but I thought, why not? You know, it's once a year. Let me tell you everything about everything. Did I miss telling you about anything from last year? No, I don't think so. I think I've covered everything. Let me know what your favourite eye products have been for the year, especially eyeshadows. Even though I do not need to buy any more, even though I intend not to buy any more, I'm happy to be tempted. I'll list all of my makeup in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll speak to you again soon.